here we already have Casper, our calendar and roadbook designer, being the first to deliver you the highlights of the Malcolm Wilson Rally, the first round of the Great Britain and Ireland Rally Championship, which is basically an extended version of our previous Scottish Championship. As the name suggests, this time it's extended to the entirety of the UK and Ireland. And we're on with the first round, which has been a full snow rally. We had 3 legs and 7 stages, 2 stages on the first leg, 4 stages on the second and 1 on the third. And we have Casper on the first one on Com, which was 8.7 kilometers. And now we're on board with our reigning champion. Well, technically he's the reigning champion of this series after winning the previous season of our Scottish Championship, Luca, and he's driving for the title defense. And from what I saw from this event so far, he might be in for a rivalry with his countryman Alan, but we'll talk about that a little later, as more drivers will be shown over the next 2 legs. So the majority of this event has been clean, apart from the occasional snowfall and poor visibility conditions caused by that, as you can see here. However, this is still a very light snowfall and visibility is still pretty good. And we have Markuss Lauvenšteins, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly. If not, then I'm sorry for butchering your name. He's been sliding around left to right and narrowly avoids the trees on the roadside. And then we have Ivan still on stage 1, who unfortunately had to change categories as he was the only entry in the one he originally signed up for. Then on stage 2 we have Casper with a big roll on the snowbank. And then we're back to Luca. Stage 2 has been the shortest of this event, 2.7 kilometers only. And the majority of our drivers have been off to a rough start on the first leg, on the first 2 stages. A lot of call for help, a couple of crashes, a bit of damage here and there. Meanwhile, we can see Markuss, who managed to avoid any such troubles for this stage at least. And despite it seems easy and short, it's a pretty difficult stage, especially with the shed right at the finish, which is pretty difficult to miss, and you can end up easily understeering into the wall of it. Ivan won't give us a spectacular finish this time like he did on the previous highlights video of the Yugoslav Championship. And this was the end of day 1. You can see the standings here: Nico first, Jürgen second, and Luca third. And we'll head on to the second leg soon. So we're back with leg 2 of the Malcolm Wilson Rally, and we're riding on board with me. Pretty much the only occasion where we're going to see me driving. This has been 5.4 kilometers, very good conditions, good visibility, no snow apart from the deadly snowbanks on the roadside. And also probably the fastest stage of this rally, as we continue with Casper, who by this time started his recovery drive, as he's been around P20 after the first leg. And then we have Ivan still on stage 3, and it looks like he also managed to get used to his new car on a short notice that he had to change. And it seems like he's even having fun, though not free of trouble as we're used to it by now. That's a very nice way of taking the jump, and an unfortunate early finish of day 2 in this rally. And then we have Daniel Withoeft in the Subaru, just taking everything easy. And he's been also having a good rally for most of the time. I like the sound of his car. And a bit of contact with the snowbank, which Fortunately only slows him down but doesn't seem to damage anything. And then we have Maria on the very same stage. Taking the jump nicely. It's actually a pretty difficult one. If you take a too high speed into it, you might end up flying into the forest, which I can tell you, it's not a pleasant experience by any means. And then we're back with another shot of Luca, who didn't really have to do any recovery drive as he was finishing in the top 3 on the first leg. So he just had to drive to improve his position and climb to the top, worthy to a defending champion. We'll see by the end how well that has been worked out for him. And then we have Kasper on stage 4. And by this time the recovery has been pretty clear. He's been on the way for a very good finishing position. What makes it even more amazing that our friend here is driving with a disability, so he's only using one hand and the keyboard and just producing absolute magnificent results with that. And this has been one of the more difficult stages due to it being very slippery, as we continue with Daniel, who takes a hit at the ribbon, however manages to avoid any of the trees. As he's sliding downhill, this time not going wide. And then we have Maria, and for some reason I still keep thinking that she's driving the Audi, while in this series she's actually driving the Fabia R5 Evo. And according to her, it's a lot of fun. I never tried it, so I can't say anything on that. But she's been driving pretty well on the second leg. And this has been one of the long stages, actually, 13.8 kilometers. Which has been followed by another long one. And we're back with Luca on stage 4. Who was on the way for a definite podium overall. By this time, only endangered by Allen and Kasper, who was getting better and better and making fewer mistakes, which allowed him to capitalize on other drivers who crashed out or made mistakes on this leg. A not very careful slide down the hill by Luca. However, it went without any trouble. Then we're back with Daniel on stage 5, which has been probably the most difficult due to the massive snowstorm that came in, as he pays a visit to the snowbank but manages to come away without any mishap. So visibility has been very poor. The weather has been adverse, and as you can see, you can barely differentiate where the road is from the roadside, which certainly didn't make things easy. There's been a little bit of fog as well. So yeah, absolutely the most difficult part of this rally. And I think we had the highest amount of crashes and mistakes on this one, as we're riding on board with Jordan for a little while, who was runner-up in the previous season, but this time there is no RGT, so he's driving the Ford Escort. And we're back with Ian, the reigning champion of the Yugoslav Championship, here driving the N4 Subaru or the R4. I actually can't remember. But he's been having a safe drive up until now, and a big crash into the snowbank and the trees. So we're back with Luca for stage 5, which has been the longest and Yeah, I already said that, so never mind. Main thing is we're back with Luca, who actually managed to get away without any mistakes. Basically pulling a drive worthy of the defending champion. No snowbank can stop him. And here a bit of onboard so you can see what he saw, or rather what he didn't see. Because, well, there isn't much to see. And then on stage 6 we have another run with Casper, 14.9 kilometer. It's a fairly fast stage for most of the time, with some quite technical bits here and there. And then we have Jordan on the stage, this time from the outside, looking at the beautiful VGTR Ford Escort. And the drive he pulled on this rally earned him the first place in his category. And I think it was an 8th place overall, but we'll see that at the end of the video. So an absolutely amazing drive despite hands down driving the weakest car in the championship. And finally we have Allen, who's been stepping up to become the rival and the challenger for the title from what we saw on this rally. So we'll be following both Allen and Luca with great interest throughout this season to see what is getting cooked there. Will it be an actual rivalry, or will one of them just stay ahead of the other steadily in the long run, as it's going to be 10 rounds, so a long season ahead. Early to jump into any conclusions just now. But from what we are seeing here, could lead to something interesting for the rest of the season. And now we're on board with Allen, nicely taking the jump, the flying Slovenian. And then we're back with Luca, who by this time has been steadily behind his newfound rival. So Allen was on the way for the rally win, and Luca was steadily second. So the only question that remained was the third place, as there's only 1 second difference between third and fourth. And we're just about to jump over to the final stage, as you can see the results. And we're back with Ivan for the final stage, stage 7, Grey Stroke 2, and that's a very spectacular take of that corner, and he actually managed to get away without hitting the trees and managed to dig the car out of the snow and continue the rally. However, by this time there's been little left for him in this event, as he collected quite a few super rallies and an unfortunate end to his final stage as well. And we're back with Casper for this final stage. Actually, we're on board with him, and I truly hope that the construction noise won't get picked up by my mic, otherwise this is going to be an interesting recording. And a little bit of mistake by Casper, but he avoids any contact with any objects on the track side, so he can continue without any serious mishap. And right now he's been on the way to secure his third place in this rally. And we continue with Luca, who was a definite second by this time. So you pretty much know how this podium is going to shape up at the end of this rally. And Alan is back for the final stage. By this time, absolutely in the lead, on the way to become the first ever winner of the Great Britain and Ireland Rally Championship and to step up as a title challenger. But as I said earlier, we'll see how the season progresses and what he'll be capable of producing. It's also the last time he's driving the Peugeot. For the next round, he already switched to the S2K Fiat Punto. So he'll stay in the same class, but he'll be driving a different car. And Alan, the winner of the rally, followed by Luca and Kasper in second and third on the podium. And you can see the rest of the results. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next round at the Border Counties Rally. Goodbye.